After 8 o'clock, you're listening to Mornings with Eric and Brigitte right here on Moody Radio 89.3. Oh, I keep turning on the wrong mic for you, Brigitte. Go ahead.
We changed our studio around just a bit because we've got a special treat, and that is the Lubben Brothers in studio with us. We thought, you know what, let's just get right to it. We'd love to hear from you guys.
All right.
All right. Excellent.
We missed that, didn't we?
Yes. It's been a while.
The folk sound of the Lubben Brothers, who are in studio live with us. And that's because you guys are back in town. Before we find out more about the concert event, we want to hear about what life has been like in Nashville. So who wants to go first here? Just telling us about the transition, what that's been like.
Well, it's honestly felt a lot more like home for us because you all know we grew up in Iowa. So we were used to actual winters, you know. We had been in South Florida for, I guess, 9 years now. So it was definitely a transition. Like just yesterday, I was talking to Katie, and it was 9 degrees in Nashville. So it makes, this cold front y'all are having here not seem so bad.
Yeah,
See, Eric?
We got like a funny Florida welcome, though, because we were all playing an outdoor concert in Sarasota, and it was in the 50s and raining.
Ooh.
It was nasty.
Yeah.
But no, we really do love the Nashville area.
And we are settled in Gallatin, which is a small town outside of Nashville, so it doesn't feel, because none of us like huge cities.
Yeah.
So we don't have to actually go into downtown that often, which is nice.
Nice. That is nice.
So what's the community been like for your music, though? Have you found that community yet? Or are you working on it?
Yeah, working on it for sure, but we're definitely plugging into a lot of great, we've met some people who are really connected into the local scene, but then who have been in Nashville for a really long time and know what instrument shops to go to and what venues are better than others.
Honestly, I think the most encouraging thing is we've met a lot of strong Christian artists, which has been really encouraging because we do, as you all know, we do mostly secular venues, and we've always seen ourselves as like missionaries in the arts. But we've recently met a guy who runs a huge studio and is an outspoken Christian and really plugged into the industry. So you feel like you're able to take the tools in the music industry, but without having to just be undercover all the time. That's been encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, Nashville's known as Music City, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the home of so many different musicians, so many different styles come out of there. So, yeah, what is that like to be a missionary to Music City?
I think it's a little interesting because if you actually go to downtown Nashville, there's a lot of great bands there, but they're mostly just doing the boot stomping kind of country stuff that so many bands can do. And so a lot of the time, it just feels very much like venues we've played here. It's just you're a lot more inundated with it. And I think the biggest challenge we always have is just getting people to really listen. It's not so much that people aren't receptive. It's more like you just have to catch their attention somehow. We played a venue in Nashville where the more people that showed up, it was less and less people listening. It wasn't that you had a better crowd. It was just more
yeah.
noise
More
to
people to
compete
talk
with.
to, more beer to drink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like we're still working on really finding out how to cultivate that audience, and that's going to be the bigger challenge.
But that's what we've seen. Like, no matter what, your biggest influence is that the legacy you're leaving with the way you live your life and the way you carry yourself on and off the stage. A lot of times more off the stage than on. So they want to hear the stories behind the songs we're posting on social media or on our newsletter. People want to get to know us, and I think that's where when we're building those relationships, that's when we're making a bigger difference.
All right, so play us another song. You guys have a new project out, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we printed vinyls for the very first time. I'm very, very excited about. We finally bit the bullet. And it was for our latest album we just released the beginning of this year called Wonder.
Yeah, so we thought it made sense to perform the title track, which is the song Wonder. Hence, it's called title.
It all works out that way.
They're also brothers, so there's a lot of that going on here, too. Okay, all right. We want to hear about
At
it.
least I don't play the accordion.
Oh, well, there is no accordion in this song, apparently, but there is a banjo.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
I can play it instead.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Guess I grew up fast, too fast, and never let the grass grow high underneath my feet till I wanted it all back. Guess I didn't know back then just how fast life goes, and then you're wishing you were 10 again when make-believe made sense. Well, it's time to wonder again. It's time to color this gray I'm living in and learn to love my life again. My mama says I grew up fast. At last I know she's right. But I figure if I try, this time the clock can turn on back. 'Cause I didn't know back then just how fast life goes. And then you're wishing you could start again when living free made sense. Well, it's time to wander again. It's time to color this gray I'm living in and learn to love my life again. Well, it's time to wander again. Oh, it's time to color this gray I'm living in. Oh, and learn to love my life again.
The Lubben Brothers with Wonder, the title song from their latest album. And I'm taken back by some of the lyrics that it's time to wonder again, color the gray I'm living in. I imagine there's a lot of people that feel that way on this January day. So tell me a little bit about the lyrics of this song.
Yeah, I actually wrote it while we were on tour, oddly enough. Not probably, I guess, early last year. And it's really interesting because as an artist, you can be doing the thing that God made you to do and become disenchanted with it and let it just be a routine. I mean, any of us do that in any type of work that we're doing. But it's very harmful, especially as an artist, because so much of your art and your expression depends on being emotionally in tune to the work God gave you. If you lose that connection between like your mind and your spirit, and you're just putting out stuff and putting on a concert, then you're missing that connection where God can just channel directly through you. It's like when you're leading worship and you're not actually personally worship and you're just giving it to the congregation, then there's like a wall that the congregation has to get through just to experience worship. And you never want to be that hindrance to people experiencing the glory of God. And so I remember thinking like, wow, it's really silly for me to even be an artist if I don't feel passionate and I don't believe in what we're doing. And that was a song, Wonder, that it really helped me remember why we do what we do and the passion we had at the beginning. I really believe that God gave us songs that were meant to tell them and were meant to build community and connect people.
Another cool thing about it, too, is that there's been so many times when we've been at odds as brothers and God's used it anyway. Like I remember like early on when we started, we were playing like this hokey little fair in northern Minnesota. And we've been arguing like right before we went on stage. And we played, we're still mad at each other, and people were like, wow, you guys, there's so much, the Holy Spirit is speaking through your music. I'm like, oh, well, thank you, because that wasn't me, that's for sure.
Right. I love that.
So have you found, you've talked about community, are you writing with new people, or do you guys continue just to write amongst yourselves?
Well, we typically just write amongst ourselves, and that's usually the way we do it. We're very protective over our creative side, but we have develop some community just as local musicians and producers. One of the best things is that we all music direct at different churches. So we already got jobs doing that. I'm a music director at a Methodist church, and so is Joshua, and then Tom's at a Baptist church. And it's annoying because I do want to hire them to play for my Christmas cantatas and stuff. But
they're busy doing other things.
Yeah. Like practically our team has grown. Like this summer we started working with our manager officially. And he's based in Nashville, and we're also like hoping to expand that team outward too. So learning to finally be more than just the three of us running the business, which is nice because we're wearing too many hats.
So what does the manager say when you say, "Oh, and by the way, we're pastors doing music at a church"? How does that go over?
It's really interesting because he's always respected what we believe, and he had to really believe in what we did to make it work. From the beginning, he was really clear what our message was through our songs. So I don't think it was any surprise to him when we were talking about our churches and all that. I think it was already pretty clear what we believed.
It had to be cut from a very specific mold. You know? Thank God.
Well, you do have a show. Is it this Friday at Community Church, Christ Community Church? Tell us about it.
That's right. Well, that was my home church here. And I mean, they still are my church family for sure. So it's a really special way for me to come back there. But also, we just wanted to find a decently close place for all our West Palm Beach fans to congregate. And the tickets have been selling really well pre-sale. So anyone who still wants to get one will need to hurry, which is a good thing, you know, but it should hopefully accommodate everyone.
Yeah, and we have a link to the Lubben Brothers website so you can find out about their show. This Friday night is in Wellington, right?
Yep.
Wellington Christ Community Church. We have a link to the Lubben Brothers so you can get your tickets. Just head to ericandbrigitte.org.
All right, we have time for one more song. You guys, you've got like 4 minutes, so whatever you want to do.
Okay, perfect.
What do you want to do? Well, I'm thinking Wildflowers in June would be a really nice song. That's one that we just released as a single last year. And so it's not part of an album at all, but it's been our most popular track on Spotify, and which is great because the message is something that's really close to all of our hearts, referring to how we feel like time goes by too quickly and want to be faithful with what God has given us with the short amount of it that we have.
That's good.
All right.
Time has wings. I've been watching her fly by. Now and then she'll stay, maybe for a day, but never long. Don't know why. But the time I've spent with you feels like wildflowers in June. Feels like waking up on Christmas and coffee at noon. And if I could turn back time, here's what I would do. Spend it all with you. Time stands still. I've been staring down the road. Wish this day would pass faster than the last and take me back to home. 'Cause the time I've spent with you feels like wildflowers in June. Feels like waking up on Christmas and coffee at noon. And if I could turn back time, here's what I would do. Spend it all with you. The time I've spent with you feels like wildflowers in June. Feels like waking up on Christmas and coffee at noon. Though I'll never turn back time, I know just what I'll do. Spend each moment with you.
Well, I can see why that song has created a little bit of a stir on Spotify. That is just gorgeous.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you so much.
The words, the melody, the Lubben Brothers. We encourage you to head to their show this Friday night, Christ Community Church. We have a link to their website at ericandbrigitte.org.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of the morning. We appreciate it.
We're always so grateful to be back with you guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys.
Anytime you're in town, make sure you stop. It is 28 after 8.
2 steak dinners for the price of 1.